Okay, this video we're going to be talking about winter friction. Winter friction is a big deal during the winter. Bundles are going to look very different when they arrive to you because of the cold weather. Things that contribute to winter friction, the actual climate, the fact that it's colder will increase the static in the hair, and so when it's rustled around in the package, that is going to, all of those factors are going to contribute to a higher level of friction in the hair. It's cold, even though you may be in California, but we're in Georgia and it's in the winter, it is cold. So let's say you receive this bundle, right? It's in its package, you're so excited, you open up your bundle, you pull it out, and you think, what in the world? Are you kidding me? What? I waited and I paid and what? This is what they sent me? Or you gotta be kidding me. This is ridiculous. What on earth? Is this beauty supply store hair? All of that, right, is the first thing that goes through your mind. But have no fear. All of that, you see how it looks like bunched up and disheveled? That's a piece of the little white bag it was in. See how that, you might say, oh my gosh, it's matted. What in the world? You look at all that, look at that. Look at those curls kind of looking like they're matted up, you know, on each other. No, this is winter friction. Let me show you how to alleviate that. Here's another one. This one does have a much, much, much deeper wave pattern. This was a custom order. But I wanted to show you this one. Look, it looks even worse. You see, it looks like it's clumped. It looks, I mean, if you look up in here, I mean, it just doesn't look, if you're, you know, if you don't have any experience with friction and what it can do to raw hair, you'll look at this and think, oh my gosh, my bundle's defective. Look at that. Do you see how that in there just looks, you know, it just doesn't look right. And then you try to put your hands through it. Oh my gosh. And you're freaking out. Like, what? This is matted. This is matted. Look at that. But it's not. It's not matted. Let me pull that other one and show you. All right. Trying to get my hands through. Look at that. The average customer is going to freak out. Completely freak out when they get this. All right. Let me talk to you about friction and why you don't see it in processed hair. In most processed, well, really every processed brand, there's a coating that's put on the hair. I'm not talking about someone who takes virgin hair and puts a steam curl on it or whatever, but even with that, 9 times out of 10, there's a coating that's placed on the hair. It may not be a super harsh silicone layer like in beauty supply store hair, but there is a coating that's put on the hair that will make sure this doesn't happen. All right, you see that in processed hair. Simple remedy. What? The paddle brush. The paddle brush, you guys. You have them. They're in your, you know, they're in your trusty dusty cabinet. Paddle brush. You take your paddle brush and you want to gently work through the hair. I'm not doing it too gently, you guys, just because I do this every day. But you hear that? Don't be afraid of that. Yes, you know, that is, you're going to get a couple of, going to get some strands during this process. Don't be afraid of that. There are thousands and thousands of hair strands on your bundle. Don't be afraid to lose a few. Don't be afraid. It's okay. It's all right. Now, you hear that? Now, most people say, oh my gosh, I would never rip a brush through that bundle like that. Oh my gosh, you're ripping the hair strands. You know what? You are going to lose a few. Now, you heard that grr, 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 when we were going through it. Now, listen. Look. You don't hear that grr, 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 like you did in the beginning. Look at that. Smooth. See, you hear that snag? All right, that was the end of that friction. See that? Now let's get the other side. Listen how loud it'll sound on the other side. Oh, I've already, never mind. I already brushed it all the way through on this side. Wait a minute. You hear a little bit of it there. Now you don't hear it. You don't hear anything. Why? I brushed it all out. The residue from that friction, from being rustled in that package and the static. All right. Sometimes, this is a wavy bundle, but the straight bundles, literally, sometimes in the warehouse look like they do when you stick your finger, you know, the cartoons, when you stick your finger in the electrical socket and the hair kind of, you know, all stands up. Sometimes the straight bundles literally look like that because of the static. Now, I'm going to run my hands through. Look at that. Right through. Gliding right through. No problems at all. At all. Don't freak out. Don't freak out when you get your bundle. All right? During the winter. Sometimes we'll see some of that in the summer just because, you know, if it's been rustling around in the package for a while. But most of the time, we see this in the winter. Look at that. Straight through. No issues. Now let's look at the brush. All right? You see that? You might freak out. You might freak out when you see that, thinking, oh my gosh, look at that. Look at so much hair. But, you know, this is a part of that winter friction and the hair kind of clumping upon itself. I would rather you brush it out than go straight for the wash. If you want to take your time with it, of course, you can put conditioner on it in its dry state first, then wash it and put your conditioner on it the second time and brush through it that way. Of course you can do it that way. If you know, if you like, if you want to preserve more strands, you can do that. And I know a lot of you, you know, put that conditioner on first, then do your wash and condition just to retain, you know, just not to have that experience with breaking some of the strands as you're brushing through. All right, the average customer probably is not going to do that. They're probably going to reach for their brush. So just want to show you that now. All right, this is a paddle, very wide paddle brush. It's just a Conair brush. You can get it any Target, any Walmart. Here's the thing. Yes, we are a hair company, but when we're working with our hair, we don't go and buy, you know, $80 styling tools. We don't. We want to use what the average customer is using because we got to see how the hair performs with average run-of-the-mill tools. Let me tell you what you don't want to do. This is your worst enemy. All right, if you've got natural hair, natural afro textured hair, you're going to use a wide tooth comb or you're going to use a Denman brush. When you're working with this hair, you don't want to take a wide tooth comb. If we were in, let's say we were in, of course, it's gliding through now, you guys, no problem, no issue, okay? But when it was in its heavy friction state, like this bundle, I didn't brush this one out. Look at that. Look at that. Can't get the comb through. Can't get the comb through. And you will seriously break some hair strands. Why? These are inflexible. These hard plastic teeth, they're inflexible. Paddle brush, it moves, it flexes. All right, you see that? So this has some give to it when you're brushing through that hair. This does not. This is going to be relentless on that hair, and it is going to literally cause some serious damage. Don't use this. Throw that away. This is your best friend. All right. Denman brushes. I love Denman brushes for my natural hair, for detangling my afro textured hair, or for elongating my afro textured hair, you know, elongating my curl pattern. I'm not a fan of Denman brushes for this hair too much, just because on some of the Denman brush styles, some of the models of the brushes, the teeth are very close together, and it's just not going to give you as much give as these will. One other thing, I'm going to insert a picture. One other thing, some of these brushes that are very cheaply made, these tips can be, how can I say it? They can have little snags on them. They can tear off and have little sharp edges on them. And as you go through the hair, it's almost like a rake that cuts through the hair. So you want to be careful that, you know, about the brush you're using. You want to replace your brush, you know, fairly often. These aren't too expensive. Maybe, I don't know, $5, $6. You know, get a new brush every couple months to make sure those teeth are nice and fresh and you don't have jagged edges cutting through your extensions. So those that are the super duper, super conscientious hair anistas, please forgive me for, for brushing through and breaking those strands in the initial. But again, the average customer, that's what they're going to do. Going to take that brush and brush through it. So do you see that? This is, I told myself I was going to make this a short video, so I'm going to cut it off, but look at that. A perfect glide, 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 glide. No snags. All right? So don't freak out when you see winter friction. It's all good. All right, y'all. Love you. Bye. All right, you guys. So this is after that bundle has been washed and conditioned. After we pulled it out of the package, went back through and washed and conditioned that bundle again, and look at that. Soft. Look at the ends. We're not clumped together. Free-flowing waves, little ringlets. Perfect. Very soft. Good as new. Don't be afraid when you see a little bit of friction coming out of that package. A simple wash and condition, or a co-wash if that's what you'd like to do, because the hair has already been shampooed, so a co-wash is perfect. And it's good as new. Perfect. Just wanted to share it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.